happened to be sitting at a table with people, family, and one of the children did something or said something that was not perfectly okay and acceptable, and the parents corrected him at the table. So afterwards, I mentioned to the father that sitting at a table has got to be the safest place in the world for every child. He's got to know that sitting at the table, he will never be hurt, he will never be rejected, he will never be criticized. It's got to be the safest place in the world. I mean, the home should be the safest place. But within the home, not during mealtime, sitting at a table together, that's the closest a family gets. And if that's not safe, then what is?
Interesting. How about like sitting around the living room watching TV or something? That's not the same?
Not the same at all.
Okay, why?
I think this has something to do with food. Because, there's nurturing and there's nurturing. There's nourishment and there's nourishment. So as you're eating and nurturing or nourishing the body, it's got to also be emotionally nurturing. And the combination is very powerful.
Yes, you said that the parents have seats, specific seats, and that nobody eats before the parents, that kind of stuff.
Well, that's the mitzvah of honoring parents has a partner mitzvah, and that is to fear the parents. Never to treat your parents like equals, because you're never going to be their equal. So you're not allowed to call them by their first name. You're not allowed to sit in their chair, in their seat, your mother and your father. And that is a very powerful, it's a very powerful identity marker. A child who knows that he can't sit in his father's chair is very consciously aware that he has a father and that he is somebody's child. You take that away, and the borders that mark our identity and our relationships get a little fuzzy.
I remember that you said that all the children sit in age order, so there's never any fighting over seats. I love that. But our listeners might think, is it too late to implement something like that in their family, even though they've never done it before?
It's never too late. But, with older children, you have to get their cooperation. They have to be willing and excited about doing it. But it's a great idea. It really gives you an identity. You remember the song in Fiddler on the Roof, Tradition?
Yes.
The lines there are, the papa, he knows who he is because he has his identity established. And then the mama, and then the daughter, and the son. The family was structured. The family was identifiable. But today, when kids can call their parents by their first name and sit in their chair and contradict them in front of people. And then I once asked this kid who was acting out, he was 10 or 11 years old. I said, do you sit in your father's chair? He says, yeah. Why? He never heard there was anything wrong with it. I said, does your dog sleep in your bed? He says, yeah. I said, does your dog sit in your father's chair? He says, yeah, what's the problem? Problem is there are no borders. You don't know who you are. You don't know where you fit. And that's a bad way to start off in life. Even when they're not home, even when the parents are not home, even when they're not in town, you do not sit in their chair or in their place at the table. There's a book actually called The Blessings of a Skinned Knee. This is a psychologist who treats children, a child psychologist, and discovered that if she tells children not to sit in their father's chair, the therapy is much, much more effective.
Really, in all other matters of the kid's life, not just parenting?
Yes.
How does that work?
Child becomes a healthier child because he has a clear-cut identity. It tells him who he is. The way children are growing up today, even if the family is intact, they're not sure they have a mother, a father, whether they are the mother, they are the father. It's chaos in the home.
You said that a mother has to be a mother and a father has to be a father, and there has to be a difference between the two of them. They're not interchangeable.
Right, because fathers today, when they want to be involved, when they get domesticated and they want to be involved, they simply become an assistant mother. There's no known description of what a father is supposed to be. So if the father wants to be involved, he helps with the diapering and with the taking kids for a walk and feeding them, but there's still no father. Now the kid has two mothers. And also the mother and the father start to compete because in a sense the father is encroaching on the mother's territory. So now it's like, you do it. No, I'll do it. You shouldn't be that way.
And
So what exactly is a father?
you said that the mother will say, just wait till your father comes home.
That is a healthy thing, both in the negative and in the positive. We usually use it in the negative. Wait till your father comes home, he'll beat you up better than I can. That's not so healthy, but why was it that way? Mothers can be pretty tough. They don't have to wait for the father to come home. The reason was because if a father disapproves, it's more devastating. By the same token, when the father does approve, it is life-giving. So it's like the mother is coaching the child. The mother is the trainer. The mother is there in the gym, now training you and correcting you and showing you how and giving you the ability. And then the mother says, wait till Tati comes home. He'll be so impressed. You'll show him what you can do. And that's the role of the father, like the standard bearer. And if the father approves, then the child knows that they're successful. And children need to have success. We always focus on what are you going to be when you grow up? And well, what about now? If you're not a successful child, chances of becoming a successful adult becomes a little harder. So how is a child successful? Gets the parents' approval.
And are you saying that a child appreciates their father's approval more than their mother's?
Yeah, in a sense, when the father gives approval, it's approval both of the child and the mother. Just like the judge, let's say in an Olympic event, if the judge says you get a 10, it means the coach did a very good job as well as the athlete. So the mother's approval is like self-approval. It's like we did a good job. But the father's approval is like the clincher, and you win the gold. I think I once mentioned, we talked about this years ago. Herman Wouk, in his book, This Is My God, writes a lot about his grandfather. Zaidi came from Russia, and Zaidi was a hero, and Zaidi taught me how to study and how to learn, and Zaidi inspired me, and so on. But then in his later book, when he was in his 80s, he writes in the epilogue that you might get the impression that Zaidi was the center of my life. Not so, he says. It was Papa. It was always Papa. I never wanted anything more in life than to be like Papa.
Oh,
He's an 80-year-old man.
yeah.
Shouldn't take 80 years. If you enjoyed this conversation or this topic, and you're looking for more information, or you want to hear it again from another angle, there is a way to do that. And that is in this book. It's all there. Order it from Amazon. You can read it, reread it, and share it. We have a Sunday night program for VIPs that you might be interested in. It's informal. It's questions and answers. It's conversation. It's really relaxed. It's really pleasant, enjoyable, informative, and kind of community-like. It's a Sunday night program. There's a Wednesday morning program for the VIPs, and there's a Wednesday night program. All of it just conversation, casual, laid back, unscripted. So join us. Take a look. Click the link below and see which of the three suits you best, and join us for some enjoyable conversation.